Mrunal Surve from Mumbai, India, working as a secondary teacher and a passionate learner. The paper attempts to ascertain the influence of project-based and inquiry-based learning on high school students for lifelong learning experience. The research supports that this type of learning is more engaging and effective to gain deep understanding or in a group to create plans and solve problems they encounter. This type method is analyzed by teachers' acceptance and students' engagement to explore phenomena, investigate and discuss new ideas, challenges as they frame hypotheses and explore the driving question using new ideas which will create future innovators, entrepreneurs and leaders of 21st century for a better society. Learning is quite constructive process and our memory is quite creative in nature. In doing so, the author Krist Lonka supports that knowledge should be activated in a meaningful context for holistic approach of learning skills. Project-based and inquiry-based learning brings in good work and collaboration skills as it starts with a case that cannot be solved on the basis of existing knowledge, and so the learners investigate and makes inquiries around the case, which promotes life-oriented learning. In this present situation of COVID-19 and lockdown, time has come to update our practices where technology co-evolves hand in hand with novel learning practices. Learning now is becoming increasingly blended and hybrid. Flipped learning method can be blended with project-based and inquiry-based learning along with socio-digital participation. The educators need to learn how to guide this process. The new situation arises, a new skill to be learned by us is self-regulation of using technology as an integral lesson for today's students in this digital age. As rightly stated by Mona Moisala, a child that seems to be passively staring at the screen of their smartphones can actually be engaged in a whole host of different activities. Messaging with friends, editing video for YouTube, modify and create knowledge, collaborating their work, communicating, discussing, which activate the brain in a very different way. The author Krist Lonka speaks about entrepreneurial mindset that now companies shall be created by startups rather than big companies. Thus, the leadership and self-esteem competencies are developed as they work together collaboratively for a common goal in a predefined time frame. This learning can either be online or face-to-face, is essentially human as they give positive feedback to one another. These efforts are needed to create a brighter and a more sustainable future for our planet. Effective elements for project-based and inquiry-based learning are as follows. Key knowledge and understanding, challenging problem or question, sustained inquiry, authenticity, students' voice and choice, reflection and feedback, public product. To support this, I would like to cite an example. Curriculum in geography requires teaching about the continent of the world. This phenomena was investigated in the period. Learners were divided in groups and were assigned a continent to be investigated. Also, tools for self-assessment and peer assessment were introduced to the pupils. All groups were instructed to think about different things that could vary depending on the continent in question. The groups came up with things like climate, flora, fauna, culture, religion, nations and their languages, currency use, time zones, and further during their English lessons, learners are instructed to make a traveling advertisement about interesting places located on the continent that they were investigating. The project also covered their music lessons where they became acquainted with the globally varying music culture. The learners worked with their class teacher and also with other subject teachers. The evaluation was based on different working phases and finally the finished work presented in different ways as it can be written projects, PPT, debate, role play. It can be a report writing, design a tourist pamphlet, etc. Thus, learners learn to give positive feedback and deal with challenges in a social interaction in a constructive and respectful way, and notice how others made positive contributions and enabled the success. I would conclude by saying project-based and inquiry-based learning combined with technology acts as an unifying platform for improving communication and collaboration. So there is a need for innovation in teaching methodologies. As rightly said by Dr. Raghunath Mashirkar, innovation is a successful exploitation of a new idea. This innovation should be inclusive of the majority of the people. So, there is a need for focus on future research and development by contributing with teachers and researchers who jointly develop knowledge practices with mutual support and sharing. Thank you.